Right, 8 p.m. on Sunday in Bangalore. Two teams that are desperately looking to get back to winning ways. The Royal Challengers Bangalore hosting the rising Pune Supergiant. Ajit Agarkar, Brad Hogg with me just to build up to that game. We stay with format, match day, match points, and let's put the first one of those up. And it should be a delicious clash between two men who've gotten used to clashing. Press conference rooms in particular over the last few months. Steve Smith and Virat Kohli. Kohli made a comeback on Friday and he immediately found some runs. This was what he did, 62 in 47 balls, perfectly acceptable. In fact, made most of the runs that Bangalore got on the night, 130 odd strike rate. With the wicket, Ajit having changed a lot in Bangalore, at least in the evidence of the two games we've seen so far. He immediately struck some sort of form, and that is huge for Bangalore. 45 seconds.
Yeah, incredible player. I mean, when you've been out, especially with a shoulder injury, I'm sure when you've had some sort of niggle which actually affects you batting, you'd have some doubts, but just keeps scoring runs for fun. I mean, yeah, it's phenomenal. And on a pitch where, you know, perhaps 160 is probably a good score to defend. Okay, he's a key player for them. There's nothing to be said about that. Virat Kohli's good form is good for RCB because they are missing KL Rahul. AB's just come back. Chris Gale's off a little bit. So Virat Kohli scoring runs in his first game is good, and thankfully there's no DRS. You know, there's no. Hopefully that controversy will stay out of it with Smith and Kohli.
Yes, Kohli and Smith, whether they were friends, not friends, all of that happened. However, let's ask the Aussie on the panel about that, but not before I put some numbers up. Here we go. This is how Steve Smith's gone. He's been a bright spot for that Super Giant team, which is floundering a little bit. 3 defeats on the bounce now after winning their first game, but he's scoring runs just like he did when he had the white clothes on, and unfortunately doesn't seem like there's too much of an option. He's got to keep scoring the runs because other than him there seems to be a lack of sort of run scoring ability almost in that Pune lineup. 45 seconds for you.
Yeah, well, it's not only the run scoring ability, it's how quickly he scores them. They've got other options in there that do score runs, yes, but not as quickly as Steve Smith. They do really need more from Stokes, Stoney and Tripodi and even Tawari. But the thing with Steve Smith, he moves around the crease. Now, the RCB bowlers are going to have to be really switched on and change their game plan, because when you see you bowl out him out test level, you go wide so that he's got to be patient. But if you see during the IPL, you go wide to him, he can either hit you through the covers or he'll take you through mid-wicket. So it's not an option. So they might have to change their plan. Right armers coming around the wicket, trying to hit him on the toes, and just give him one scoring option out deep where he's just getting off the strike and he's not punishing you with boundaries.
Yes, it is a small ground, and as Ajit referred to, slightly trickier batting conditions, but if there's one batsman in the world who can take them on, it is Steve Smith, or if there are two, it's Virat Kohli and Steve Smith. So we'll see both of them in action. Next match day, match point, and it's on your screens now. This one is becoming quite a talking point around the country now. Where should MS Dhoni bat? He's batted at 6 in the previous game, and he's just not getting the runs that Pune need out of him. Some numbers up now on your screens before Brad and Ajit get there. 45 seconds each. Now have a look at this, Brad. At number 4 and 5, those strike rates as well as that average is very good for MS Dhoni over a substantial number of innings. It almost seems like a no-brainer. When a guy is not doing very well and he's got this record, put him in places where he enjoys batting. It shouldn't be that difficult to work out. 45 seconds.
Well, it's not that difficult. I think he's batting 5 at the moment in the batting order. So
I think he was 6 last game, if I'm not mistaken.
6 to where he must have come in front of him. But that's even a good move because you've got the youngster there, give him a little bit of confidence. Now, Dhoni is very experienced. It shouldn't really matter at this stage where he bats in the order. We talked about it last couple of days ago, where he likes to come in the 16th over and play from ball 1 and try and hit boundaries from ball 1. That's where he's liked to do the damage over the last 3 or 4 years. But he's an experienced player. They're in trouble. He has to stand up and he has to be a leader. Steve Smith's the captain, but he's got to lead from the front as well with the bat and turn things around.
Ajit, I mean, I know we've discussed this earlier and there's been a lot of conversation around it. But from MS Dhoni's perspective as well, I mean, it's not unfamiliar territory to be out of form for a cricketer or be in a team that's not winning. But if there is someone who's shown in the past that he can recover from these situations, it's him.
Yeah, I guess we talk about it a bit more because of the, for the length of time that he's played or at the stage of career he's at. It's towards the end of his career almost, if you like. Who knows, might go on to play another 5 years. But towards the latter part of his career. So probably that's why there's a lot more talk about it. But he's got to discover some form because it is a team which is in trouble. And that's when you want your top guys or your leaders, if you like, in the team to stand up. It's hard to push him up the order apart from opening, and Tripathi looked good in the last game. That's the problem they have. Stokes, of course, floated because of the ball turning into him, the leggies and the left arm spinners. Maybe Dhoni might do that with one of the other games. So it's hard to push him up. So if he's got to bat, make the most of where he gets to bat.
Right, whether you're doing well or not so well, when you're MS Dhoni, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny. Move on now to our final set of match points, and this is about getting the guys to pick their 11s. We'll get to the Pune team first, and Ajit has done that job for us. He's picked that 11. That'll be on your screens anytime now. Yeah, there it is. Stephen Smith and Ben Stokes very much in there. Lockie Ferguson stays, as well as Imran Tahir. Was there it in your consideration, Ajit? Shardul Thakur had a good game, so he obviously stays in. But because we've seen some assistance for spin in Bangalore, that you'd get some service out of Adam Zampa instead of the pace of Lockie Ferguson. 45 seconds.
Well, I mean, I liked what I saw from Lockie Ferguson. He's got a bit of pace, and Bangalore wicket has gripped a little bit. The ball gripped the surface a little bit and has kept low. So sometimes it's not that easy to play a fast bowler either. If you hit the deck hard enough, it's not that the spinners are running through teams. Yeah. I mean, you saw Pollard still hit some massive sixes to a ball that was gripping the surface. So no, I think, and you need to continue with the team for at least a couple of games or 3 games if you like. I think Pune, because their performances haven't been great and they've been losing, there's been too much chopping and changing, and you don't really want that. You want to give guys confidence. They found a couple of seamers who bowled quite well on the night against Gujarat, and they've got to persist with it.
Fast bowlers club. That's, they just stick for each other, right? Let's do the RCB 11, and this is how Brad's gone. I suspect we'll see a familiar change at the top. There it is. Chris Gayle, 3 runs short of 10,000, but Mr. Hogg, cruel Mr. Hogg, has no place for records in his mind. Out he goes. In comes Shane Watson. Must ask you, he's done a little bit of a job with the ball, but with the bat, even Watson hasn't looked as secure. Why make that change?
Well, Gaurav, the reason why I've gone for Shane Watson is the extra bowling option. I just think with Pune's batting, you got Steve Smith, you need different options for him. I like the lineup that RCP have got, but it's still a die at this present moment. They need to win 8 games to get in the finals, and they're already behind the 8 ball with 3 losses. So I am going to be interested to see how Mills goes against the likes of Steve Smith, Stokes, and also Badri and Chahal. I think Badri was a good inclusion the other day on that type of wicket. I think he can do some damage, but those guys are really going to have to be on their game to someone like Steve Smith. I think it's going to be a great contest. I think it's going to be fairly close.
Yes, it's both teams full of superstars, so there's lots to look forward to. 8 p.m. start in Bangalore, so there'll be some fun and games in this one. Thank you so much to Brad and Ajit for taking us through this one. Remember, this is how you can get in touch with us. Ask Hoggy, Ask Ajit, those are our hashtags. Also ESPN Match Day. You can catch us live every evening at 7:30 p.m. on ESPNcricinfo, as well as on our Facebook page. That's where you can comment and get your questions answered by the guys. Also, there is our YouTube channel to subscribe to, so it's all available. Another doubleheader day coming up. Enjoy the games.